Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to Ecom Street. In this video, we're here again with Eric. We kind of want to just discuss mindset, a little more of a motivational slash mindset basis of like how it actually feels and how to like react when like you're testing all these products. Maybe you're failing. Maybe like there's like just a hole in your marketing where you're failing. So we're gonna cover all that and much more. Stay tuned.
So, I guess for this video, guys, we're gonna be like treating it more just like an open session, like mastermind here, like we were talking about before. Just kind of like more like a Q&A style kind of thing, because I feel like that's what gives people like the best results, like how they retain our information. So just in general, it's like, what's something that like we've struggled with in the past, you'd say, that we've kind of overcome now? Like, what's something like both you guys could say?
Yeah.
Right now. Like with dropshipping, obviously, right?
So for me, it was like, which is probably the most obvious answer, it was just finding that first winner. So when I was testing products, like everything was solid, like my website was solid, my ad was solid, my ad like my marketing strategy was solid. It kind of just came down to having the right product at the right time. So when I was first doing this for the whole like first year pretty much, I had all these products, I would say at least like 40 or 50 of them that I just tested, and everything fell into place besides the timing of when I was testing these products. That's why I'm so huge on timing. Like, you could be off from testing. Like, some people, like, they test their product, it doesn't work out for them, and then a week later they see an ad for it where someone's scaling it big time. And they think, what, how, right? It just comes down to timing, kind of like supply and demand. So for me, the biggest issue is probably just, like, staying motivated and realizing that, like, I'm one step away, I'm one move away, one product away from like having that first winner. And so once I switched from that to that mindset, from instead of being like all like down on myself, that's when things really start to turn around. Because at the end of the day, yes, like you're losing money. Of course, like it sucks to lose money, but at least like that product does not work, and you can move on to the next one and just find a winner, right?
So the most basic thing that I have learned so far is like never compare your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 10. It's like just doesn't make sense, right?
Facts.
Yeah, it's like I mean, like when I first started out or when I first started doing something, I am always behind people many steps, but I'm just always consistent and just keep moving forward. Like even though I move pretty slow compared to my own standard, I mean compared to people's standard as well, but I just don't give up basically. Like most of the time, like when I just started out, I felt like my grammar, my English sucked so bad. Like just couldn't figure out.
Yeah, of course.
Like what the meaning was,
Yeah.
And I, like let's say you don't know English, but then you just start to do Facebook ads, dropshipping, everything in English is so hard. Like not to mention about getting the first winner. Like that was even harder.
Of course.
Like just sometimes things just take time, and if you just overcome the obstacles, and slowly things will fall into place.
Exactly. Yeah, quickly, I want to loop back to what he said about the whole, like, it's actually crucially important to not, like, compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10 or 20. Like, typically when most people start dropshipping, they'll hop on Instagram and they'll see those big gurus in the Lamborghinis and stuff having a fun time on the beach. And they think, okay, until I'm at his level, I'm not successful. Until I'm there, I'm not good enough. And so they use that person or that person's results as a benchmark to where they should be, when they don't realize at all how much work that person, most likely put in. All that work and hours of them failing. So when you're starting, personally, if there's one thing I could change from when I started, it'd be to less of that person and more of just like completely focused on myself. So no comparing to someone else, no comparing of that manner. Like, of course, like there's people you can look up to, like Jeff Bezos. Like there's people that you can admire, like Elon Musk and stuff, right? And like what they do, but not their results. Just like what they do, their mindset, not the results.
Exactly.
So much, right?
You can't. Again, guys, like that saying, like don't care, like don't give a shit about what other people think. Like that's such a true saying, right? I mean, if you're comparing yourself to other people, then you're never really gonna go like higher than them, I guess you could say, right? I guess you're gonna stay at the same level. And also too, like from everything that I've learned through dropshipping is honestly like just never stopping to learn about something new, because that's honestly something that I think put me back like a while ago when I first started, was just kind of doing the same things over and over again without kind of changing what I'm doing. So for example, just running like the same like Facebook ad strategies, or maybe even just testing like the most like saturated products, like stuff that I thought would sell, Meanwhile, like everyone was doing it, so I wasn't really doing any more research myself until I started to realize that okay, like maybe there's something I got to change here. Maybe there's something that I'm doing wrong. Maybe there's something that needs to happen here, right? Because I'm seeing no results, and then after that, I mean, you kind of shift your mindset, and you kind of think of things differently, right? Especially when you do start seeing results, then that's when it all kind of falls into place too, right? It makes you change the way you think of things. So when you start scaling big, then you see more cash flow coming in, then you kind of get an idea of what you can invest into after. So whether that's another product or maybe just even more Facebook ads or maybe some softwares or something like to improve yourself or better yourself.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Yeah, like for sure, like the whole like making the same mistakes over and over again is also huge. Like there's like doing the same thing multiple times when there's been no good results is just pure insanity to me. And so, but at one point I was like that, where I, like just like you, Anthony, like I would do the same things over and over again, expecting a different outcome.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't happen, of course.
Yeah.
And I'd wonder why. And then once I started changing my mindset, changing the way, my operations actually like went through and stuff, it got a lot better. One more important thing Eric's gonna talk about also is just like how important we all believe guidance is, especially if you're brand new. Like if you're going out there like completely blindsided, it's kind of course you can still pull it off and it's been done before, but in terms of just like probabilities of just like success and avoiding some mistakes, not all of them of course, but some, guidance and having like a mentor kind of is so important. So what do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, like the thing is, I think having a mentor is pretty important. I think it's the most important thing when it comes to anything, right? Whether you are doing e-com, whether you're going to school and be a doctor, you always need a teacher. You always need a mentor. But most of the time, it's like in this e-com game, you have always met 99% are scammers, like straight up scammers. Like they scam you money and they are over promising you the results and everything like that. But sometimes it's kind of true, but sometimes it's all coming down to you. Whether you are doing your due diligence or not, it's all depending on you, right? Yeah. But then you have to hedge your bet as well. Like because e-com, it's like dropshipping, it's a cash flow game. Like if you are seeing you are in a negative loss, you have to off like 1K, 2K, you have to cut it fast, or else you will be even in much worse position. And lots of people, like they may not be recovered back after 1 or 2 years when they're in such a huge loss like this. Like I have seen couple of friends of mine, they are in a huge loss, and right now they're just taking half a year, 1 year, like to recover back.
Yeah, that's actually so smart. Last time I was actually reading watching a video about that. Where like for example, like when you used to play a video game as a kid, like you'd play, and you kept failing the same level, and then when you leave and come back after a while and try it, it was just so much easier.
Yeah.
And you ask yourself how, like. That's how, like, taking that step back and, like, reflecting and then coming back is a much better option than just, like, trying, without thinking about what's going on, right?
But I wouldn't say, like, take a break from it completely, like, just because your Facebook ads...
No, just, like, step out.
I wouldn't say, like, okay, I'm going to take a break for a month, like, no.
Take a step back.
You know
like, you don't run away, just take a step back.
Yeah, exactly, right? You never want to just, like, run away from a situation or a problem, right? You want to kind of figure out the solution or what you're doing wrong, essentially.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a pretty good point, I guess you could say. It's a good perspective. Guys, we hope you got a lot of insight from that video. Just kind of like the mindset that you need to have when you go into dropshipping. Some really cool tips that we've touched upon. And if you guys ever have any questions, like we mentioned before, feel free to DM us and we'll be more than happy to motivate you guys, give you some insight on things that you may have questions about anytime. And we'll see you guys in the next video.